let me do the demo. If you don't know what to do, just watch me to do it first. So first of all, I wrapped the design, which is come from this coupon paper, this stem, to transfer. So I use a liquid called acetone. It's a nail polish remover. It says pure acetone remover. You can get from cosmetic stores. I usually do it in excessive because it gives me a little more time to dry. Otherwise, it dries in 10 seconds, right? So after you don't see any liquid, press. I used to use the scrubber. I still have it, but you don't have to use this anymore. I did, it's too late. See time out.
So the timing is very important.
Timing is very important. Then what I need to do is to sand the. Can you pass me the sanding paper? Thank you. So this time just a little bit. Redo it. So it's to start over again. This time I make sure the time is correct. So just rub it. You can also pour the liquid onto the paper and then stamp it. I find this is a more precise way to do it, especially with this odd shape, natural shape stone. So I rub it exactly as the stone, and I can do it.
So you give it a few seconds to melt the ink.
Yeah. So I wait a little bit longer because, and you don't have to let it completely dry. So, I mean, completely.
What?
Just leave it a little bit. You can see it evaporating a little bit, but not completely dry looking.
Yeah.
Then you press.
And when you lift it, it should still like a 10% or 15% wet. Whoops. The stone may be too
Light is the color of the stone.
Yeah, it could be the color of the stone or the texture of the stone is too hard. Sometimes hard stone is too smooth.
Can you trace with a marker?
Yeah, I can trace it.
The color looks even right there.
Also, sometimes the ink is not, when the cartridge is near the end, it's not thick enough. Let me do it again. Sometimes it repeats, 3 times or 4 times until I get it right. Let me just try one more time. And this time I use this old method. Sometimes I have to rub it hard, I think, because the stone is slippery or something. You can make the stone a little coarse with grainy, with a rougher sandpaper, but not too grainy because that will affect the seal. Just one more time to do it. It's a little off. Okay, now I use this plastic. Okay, a little better, right?
Pretty good.
Yeah, that's a lot better. So I can trace the stroke, missing stroke, like this one. Oops. Because the design is from an old stone, it doesn't really exactly match. I think that's okay now. The next I'm going to do the carving. I use large size actually. We have a super size, it's heavy duty one.
Heavy one.
Yeah, let me use this one. Is much handy. It's much stable if you use a bigger brush, bigger knife. We call this a brush because it's iron brush, as is called by the seal engraving artist. Because the stroke resembles the calligraphy. If you do it nicely, it has the press and lift, all that kind of rhythm.
And you're carving away the white.
Yeah, I mean,
The
yeah,
black.
the
black.
I'm carving away the white.
Oh, the
The white,
outside.
in this case, yeah. I have a mirror image on the printout as a reference, which is the same as on the print. That's the one you don't want to use. Use those correct image, not the mirror ones. So you don't. If you do the mirror one on the stone, it will be non-mirror, so it will come up opposite, backwards when you stamp it. So that's why you want to make sure the print is the final result.
When you carve out the white, is that called negative carving?
You carve out the background. It's
Yes.
positive carving.
That's positive carving. Okay.
We also call this relief carving. Is that
Relief,
relief carving? Or there's one side is coarse in every cut, which is the side on the what do you say this, the inside, the outside, yeah, the inside. If you hold the knife at an angle, not straight, at an angle about 30 degrees, the outside is smooth, inside is coarse. Like if I cut just as an example, so this side, chipping side is the coarse side. This outside is the smooth side. The small angle side is smooth side. Sometimes the chipping is desired to make the seal look antiquarian, we call it, like old. So you can do it pixel by pixel.
Yeah.
But if you're skillful, you can let it chip on its own to create a random effect. The first character I'm doing is a heart. The second character will be painting, heart painting, or painting from heart. It's the content of this mood seal, and as we talked earlier, that we always learn this painting from the masterpieces by copy. But while you copy, you learn the heart of the ancient masters, not their traces. This is what the Chinese painting theory says. So you cannot really repeat their brush strokes, but you learn their heart. And then you learn from natural inspiration. Finally, you learn from your own heart. So this is the third step, the final step, final stage of creation, painting from heart. But before we do that, we learn from the ancient, the old, other artists' heart, and eventually we'll paint from our own heart to express our own feelings. This design actually is a freestyle design, so I'm going to do it in bold ways. In Chinese brush painting or in seal engraving art, it's the play of two opposite poles. One is spontaneity, and one is control or discipline. So you cannot do it without discipline, but don't be afraid to play bored, take risk or something like that. It's really a combination of two different, completely different approaches. So sometimes you want to very controlled so the character is readable, but sometimes you want it to have some spontaneity in it. Just like painting, you cannot really totally control, and we cannot really reproduce the computer mechanical font kind of design. That's why we always try to resemble the calligraphy, the old stone stele, the chipping effect, not the smooth effect. So one side is smoother, right? If you want both sides smooth, you have to cut two times. One side, you turn the stone all the time to make sure the smooth side is facing the side you want. But I want some part coarse. In this case, it's very coarse style, rough style. So I always use the rough side facing the stroke.
Does it hurt your wrists here?
Use wrist to control the. You use the middle finger to push the knife, and use your ring finger hold the stone. This is very important. Use your ring finger hold the stone side. This serves as a break, as standing.
Stop.
Yeah, stop. Yeah, stop. So. You don't push, over push. On YouTube, you may not see the last stage, which we call fine tuning. Actually, this will take a long time for beginners, especially twice longer maybe than what you see I put on YouTube. Because after you make the first stamp, you will do a lot of adjustments. So the beginning, just get the rough structure. This stone I'm doing is called Changhua. It's very hard. It's harder than the Qingtian, the green ones. This is but the good thing is this one does not chip that much as Qingtian. So it's a little more controllable.
How are you doing there?
Huh?
How are you doing?
Okay. deep does it have to be?
That's a good question. Don't have to be very deep, especially on small stem. So just as deep as possible, but not try to carve it. You don't have the universal. It's some, when the stroke is close, the depth is shallower. If you have a larger area, you can you can like good. Let me see. I see. Inside the characters is good enough.
Right.
Just in this part you can do what we call flowering, just to make because those may come on the paper as dots. So you want to make this a little even. The larger areas is deeper, like here.
Right.
Inside, between the small strokes, it's okay. So these are, let's see. I see some strokes will show on this print, so that's why I really want to. You can use the flat side of the knife to do the flooring, just like that, like a scooping.
Yeah.
Scooping like that. Just scoop out the leftover in between those cuts. Yeah, that's a good idea. You can bring to me your if you have a question or something you messed up, I will see if I can fix it for you. But provided you still have some left to work with.
Yeah. Can't put back that little.
Yeah, if you carved too much, I cannot help. But if you carved too little, I can do a lot to help. So be conservative to begin with. Just cut around the stroke. That's what I say. It's much easier than cutting the stroke itself. I'll just clean up for you. I think it's almost. You can just clean up a little more on the surrounding areas, and just before we do the stamping, I will do my stamping soon, so you'll see. After that, you can continue the cleaning up.
And then I can always go home and get some sandpaper.
Okay, I would use a paper towel, or you can use a old toothbrush or something to dust off the dust. And I'll do a initial imprint. If you want to see, you can come here. And I need a little padding. It's a rubber mat we put underneath it. And here's the ink paste. I learned from Master Rao, Professor Rao in Nanjing. She will use the finger to do the loading.
Yes,
and putting.
mercury in it.
But she said it's been around for 1,000 years. Never heard anybody got poisoned.
No, not right away, but we don't know.
Anyway, so I'll stay away myself. But and also she said this may not have mercury and like not mercury cinnabar, because they use chemical ones. We do have real cinnabar ones, but it's really expensive, like $200. Yeah, I do have that because it was real cinnabar. This is not real. They use pigments, not the cinnabar mineral anymore. Okay, here. Is the stand from stone. Let's compare.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's pretty close, huh? Yeah. So I just try to reproduce everything as on this stone. So you can see still I cannot really 100%, but it's almost hard painting. Yeah. So luckily I don't have to do further tuning. So this is considered finished. Oh yeah.
Well, then you know, eventually you would carve more.
Yeah, let me see your design. Where's your design sheet?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. So here's the first complete work from workshop participant. Friend just did this. Last name Ryan. This one looks the same, but it's a mirror image and the image. This one is a little slighter. Okay, one. This the. Oh, beautiful!
It came out. It worked.
Congratulations.
Well, after a while, I lost some ink, and I couldn't tell if it.
Congratulations! Yeah, you ever?
Did I have the curve or
That's
did
your
I
first.
cut it off?
Yeah, yes, that's your first, and it's clean, absolutely clean.
Good.
I like that. To make the stroke less grainy, you can do this. Don't touch it, but
Yeah.
just blow some moisture and press harder, and you can wave a little bit. Make sure it's solid. Because the paper is hard. If it's softer paper, it would be better.
Yeah.
Also, because the sand paper we use today is kind of rough. You could use 0.0 instead of 1 or something. You know, the size of the grain. If you can get very fine ones, it will reduce the grain.
My husband's an engineer. We have every size imaginable.
Oh, that's good.
You're in business.
And at least 2 of everything.
So what you do is you can use the fine sandpaper
And
a little bit, yeah, just polish a little bit. It will reduce the grain. But I like that grain. It looks old and antique.
Yeah, and it looks pretty even all around.
Yeah. It's a style, so it's what we like.
Good.
Yeah, that's what as Maribel said, you will be proud of it. Something you can bring back and
Yeah, I'd say
always.
that's mine.
Yes, you'll be
Plus,
very.
those holes were so small and they looked like they were round.
You did a very good job.
We got them square.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.